6 seconds. I gotta start a timer. Set a timer for 13 minutes.
I'll start your timer for 13 minutes.
All right, I don't have that much time, but I do have some time. So I want to talk about what could potentially definitively divide, if there is an audience other than me, an audience. I have my last amount of space off, so I have 13 minutes, and I don't even have that much because I'm still trying to get into it. I feel bad for people that I disagree with. Okay, I feel bad for them. I try to use as much dialectic to get to the truth based on what we disagree about, if there is something that we can agree. But I'm always going to be Jersey. And because I have that in me, I think I'm also always going to have some fangs when I'm approached a certain way and I'm insulted just for what I think or what I believe. On my spaces, which I really was pissed off that I forgot to check the one little thing that actually records it. It just disappeared after me talking for 13 minutes. I was talking about civics. And all I really wanted to say was I had to teach it. So because I had to teach it, I had to learn it and I had to write it and I had to read it. And the documents, which were the founding U.S. civics documents, I was just like, all right, these are the three most important documents to civics. But that isn't even what I was going to talk about division for, because civics is, localized. And honestly, you need to learn Robert's rules so you can conduct a meeting properly. But all you really need to do is just break down much more simply. I'm not going to discuss politics, polis. I'm not going to discuss people because you don't understand the civics in the matter. But I am going to break it down much more simple into two kinds of people. Two kinds of people. And this is the most serious division that there is. And I know this because it has been this way since the beginning, since the sixth day. Now, that is an allegory. If you don't understand how allegories work, yes, it took more than 6 days for man and woman, he created them to actually be something. It's not a scientific document, never was. Wasn't intended to be an allegory. You should look that up. Have AI do it for you if you can't figure it out yourself. But we're basically divided into two. Okay? And the presence or absence of the Y chromosome determines sex. Follow the science. The presence or absence of the Y chromosome determines sex. Full stop. So again, to divide and permanently, definitively divide my channel with a story, I had a friend that I even promoted her music on my channel, which I had some watchers. But before I had my channel, I was a guest on her channel. And I am willing to say out loud that I fucking hated it. Because I would write skits that I wanted to talk about. Just skits, I just wanted to make people laugh. And I wanted to have the discussion with other human beings. I wasn't there to just talk. I wanted to have the discussion with other human beings. Wait a minute, there's actually other human being here. I don't know what the hell that means. Thank you, Nikita. I don't know what the hell that means. I don't know that symbol. It translate this is what that means, right? I don't know how you translate that. Okay. She had a drug problem. She had several. In some ways, I wonder if she ever met a drug she didn't like. And she also had some pains, and she had some other things that I think wrecked her life. The same way I had a drug that probably continues to wreck my life. But for what it's worth, I actually believed that she was getting over it and getting past it. So the eternal division, the fundamental division, men are not women, and women are not men. And we get along when we can, but we have problems. We have big problems, but they can be solved with dialectic and maybe a little bit of rhetoric. But you need rhetoric to be all right. I have 7 minutes. I have 7 minutes to try to keep this story brief, and I'm trying. Drugs took over her parenthood, her job, and her friendship with me. It's not the only reason why I have some woman issues, but she was probably the closest female friend that I had because I shared the podcast space with her. And I actually mistakenly took her counsel through a discernment process. And all I can say, for what it was worth, she showed the absence of the Y chromosome when I talked to her for probably the last time that I ever want to actually talk to her. But she's always invited to come back if it starts with the "you the best." Well, thank you very much. How do can I respond to that? I don't know. There's what YouTube used to do, YouTube used to let you, when you would scroll back and watch a live stream, to scroll through the comments that were there. But thank you. I said hi. I know. I love this new thing, right? Like, this new thing now is people show up just to say, said hi. I said hi. All right. So I am on a time crunch here. And I just want to say, I opened my space to her. I invited her to my live show. I gave her an enormous amount of freedom on my space after she invited me to her space and gave me like no freedom. No freedom to be able to be like, I'm bringing a musician's music. Can I give the plug for it? No. And honestly, the more I started to go back and listen to the old episodes, I was just like, wow, this really fucking sucks. If I were a listener, I would not be listening to this. Now, with my stuff, I do listen, so nobody can be a bigger scrutinizing influence than me. Thank you, Goom DM, for saying hi twice. And the way that story wraps, it's one of the last things she said to me after I gave her 3,000 US dollars. 3,000 US dollars. You don't care about me. You don't care about my kid. You don't care whether or not we lose the place that I'm living and all that. And I thought, is that so? Because all the money that I gave to you is clearly gone. And they say you don't give a drunk a drink. And see, something really, really happened to me in that moment. Because I started to meet other individuals with the absence of the Y chromosome. And I thought, okay, they're just not all the same. There are other individuals. And everybody's unique. And when it was all said and done with this new individual, I was in the exact same place again. And I've been in that place probably 8 to 10 different times, seriously. And I'm like, it's not going to change. I'm going to keep meeting this individual type. But when I meet this individual type, I am going to either not recognize it and see it for what it is later, or I'm going to recognize, oh my gosh, it's not going to change. I'm going to keep running into this until I either accept and compromise this and say, okay, can I deal with this and still function? Yes or no? Then I'm faced with a fork in the road. And if I can't take that fork, then I know what I need to do. I've actually been going back and listening to a lot of old stuff, my stuff, and I'm like, wow, you know, I didn't realize how much I had opened the floor to this individual, but also how stupid I was to just how you relax after a long day. Wait a minute, who said that? Oh no, I don't even know what the hell that is. That's just some random thing. No, what the hell's a QA sticker? I don't know. Get out of there, stupid ass thing. All right, so where am I at? 2 minutes. I won't say her name. Anybody that's been on this channel long enough knows her name, but she was not the only one. And I met several of those women over the years. I met another one through that channel, through this channel. And the women lack the Y chromosome, but they have another X. So we have an X. But this whole nonsense that people try to say you're either binary, you can be non-binary. I'm sorry. That's not genetics. That's not Mendelian genetics. That's not a Punnett square. You don't get to survive if you don't have the sets of chromosomes. Okay, even when there's a trisomy of the 21st, you survive. But I don't know what happens if you only get one. Now they say, when you blood type Jesus Christ did not have a Y chromosome because he only had Mary's egg, and the Holy Spirit provided the Y. I'd like to see the genetics on that, because I know that they've blood typed the Eucharistic miracles and all the miracles associated with Jesus and said Jesus has AB blood type. I want to know when that's on record. All right, give me the chromosomal list. Give me the chromosomal list then, because I don't know that I've seen that chromosomal breakdown, that it's just like, okay, Jesus only has an X. But fully human and fully divine is not like a mixing of the two. It's not where you mix the two together. That would be a heresy. Fully human is one whole, full human, and one whole, full divine. And the mystery of how do you make one out of two when it's actually three? How do you do that? That's mysterious. And mystery is not explainable fully. When St. Patrick took the shamrock, what he was trying to show is, look, you've got 3 leaves of this shamrock. See, it's been 13 minutes. Boom. I'm going to wrap it there. I'm going to say thanks for watching. Thanks for commenting. Thanks for going like this and showing what Gen Alpha really does. And since this was about the story of this individual, my hope is that if I ever get to talk to this individual again, and they actually start with a full apology, then I would like to actually debate their most ridiculous ideals. Because they are ridiculous. They are ridiculous. Thanks for showing up and listening. Because again, who's this for? Me. I will listen to this later so that I can learn how to rap in 13 minutes. And I mean wrap up, not rap. Where the hell is the button that turns it off?